and welcome back to the RattleMind podcast. I'm Rye, and my co-host join me as always is
Panchy.
awesome. All right, so today's topic is going to be traveling places we want to travel to, something like that. Because I don't know. Just wanted to talk about places.
Yeah, there's lots of them out there. It's
Yes, there are.
like there's a whole world of places.
So what's some of the places you want to go to?
Well, primarily I wouldn't go to England to visit some friends right now. That's my main goal. Like that's my next big trip I need to do. Well, for fun trip anyway. I am gonna have to travel in April a little bit. I'm going to Arkansas for my brother's wedding.
Oh,
Because
fun.
he went to school in Tennessee and graduated down there, and that's where he met his fiance. And that's where they're getting married, is where she's from, in Arkansas. So, um, I'll be happy to go, but dang, that's a lot of traveling for a
Yeah.
wedding. Uh, so those are some immediate traveling plans.
You want to know what's something cool to do in Arkansas?
What?
Uh, Going crystal mining.
Oh. That's a thing in Arkansas?
Yeah.
Are Feel free to elaborate.
There we go.
Like I've
Sorry,
never done crystal mining.
I was pulling it up on the thing so we can
Oh,
actually have
okay,
visuals.
sorry.
Yeah, a long time ago, me, my mom, my brother, sister, and dad went to Arkansas so we could go crystal mining. And it's basically there are extinct volcanoes that used to be in Arkansas. I think that's how it goes. And there are just tons of crystals and geodes that you can go to places and just dig in the ground and see what you can find. Occasionally, you can actually find
Oh.
diamonds.
Oh, wow. Sheesh. That looks fun. Did you find anything cool?
My brother found this really cool giant. I mean, it was like a good 1 foot to, or probably about 6 inches to a foot, solid crystal that had a purplish base to it and came up to a white tip.
Interesting. Whoa.
Yeah,
Now that picture, like, is that what people have already found, or
yeah, this is probably stuff that people has found
like
and
a
they
crystal
just,
shop kind of
yeah,
thing?
this looks like it's probably a shop, but you can actually
That
dig your own.
I that sounds actually really cool. I might look into that. But I have to say that that second table from the front looks like all geodes,
Oh
and
yeah.
geodes are they drive me crazy because when I was a kid, like we had some in our backyard, and I wanted to break them all open just to see what was inside. And that's an entire table full of thousands of looks like geodes. And I would love nothing more just to hammer and chisel every single one of them just to see what's inside. Oh man, that'd be so cool.
Yep. And you can actually do that when you're there.
Uh,
So yeah, there's actually fun things to do in Arkansas. Come on, people. You don't have to keep this in Arkansas.
I wouldn't have thought. I gotta be real here. I wouldn't have thought.
Crystal mining would be something you could do.
Right.
Yeah.
But then again, like every state has its like people that are like, it's a garbage state. Like being from Ohio and being the butt of a many a joke lately. There are a lot of people from Ohio who complain and bitch and moan that there's nothing to do. And I've been asked many times if it's true, and I said, well, there are some areas in Ohio where you have to look a lot harder than others because it's such a mix of rural and big cities. you know, but sometimes when you look hard enough, you find something cool, even if you have to get travel a little out of the way to find it. Ohio has some like crazy good uh amusement parks. We have really good sites at Lake Erie, and um Cincinnati alone has like a lot of really like cool like the things that you would never think of,
Right.
like an arcade bar, like a classic arcade bar with classic arcade machines where you can drink and play arcade machines. And you pay like I think you pay by the hour, so like you don't have to put quarters in or anything. You just like can play over and over and over again. It's really cool. So like, sometimes you gotta be tricky or not tricky about it, but you gotta dig a little deeper. No pun intended for the Arkansas thing, but
Yeah.
not to mention Ohio is one of the most haunted states in the country. Going, a bit of a flashback to our other podcast, but um, if you like that kind of thing, it's not hard to find something abandoned to explore in Ohio. Oh yeah, lots of parks for sure. Breweries in Dayton. There's a brewery. I haven't been to it, but
Yeah. That's the problem is that when you live somewhere, you just don't think about it in the terms of what there is you can do when you're there.
yeah, and I feel like a lot of it depends on the people that you spend time that the most time with too. If they go and do stuff,
Yeah.
if they like the same stuff you like. Um, uh, One of my favorite places ever. I love aquariums in general, but Cincinnati has Newport Aquarium, which I guess if you're being technical, Newport is part of northern Kentucky, but it's part of the greater Cincinnati area, so leave me alone.
Well,
Oh
there's a lot
yeah,
of
lots of history in Ohio. Lots of history.
lots of cool stuff.
My elementary school was like 2 blocks away from the Wright Brothers mansion.
Hey, look
So,
at there. There's a castle.
yep, yep. Um, I lived by a little um it wasn't that big, but there was like a little tower that looked like a mini castle called we called it Frankenstein's Tower, and it had a backstory of like I guess like um someone slept on top of it. It wasn't huge. It wasn't like, it was really freaking tall. It was up there. It's probably, I don't know, 50 feet tall, something like that. Um, but like, I guess some kids spent the night up there many, many years ago, eons ago, and got struck by lightning. And I don't think one of them made it.
Oof.
And they like boarded it off and stuff. But there's a lot of like little like wartime fortresses scattered around. And oh yeah, the caves. That's a good one.
Yeah, caves are
A lot of
always fun to go
forests.
to.
Yeah, yeah, caves are spooky and interesting. All right.
Which,
Yeah. Oh, go
when
ahead. Sorry.
when you're talking about a cave, it's called a stalactite and a stalagmite. The stalactites have to hang on, or the stalagmites reach with all their might. I think that's how it goes. There is a rhyme to remember which is which.
I mean, that sounds pretty good. I knew there was a rhyme, but like I never committed it to memory, so I'll take your word for it. Tights hang on. That makes sense. But yeah, Arkansas. I will see where the wedding is and see if that's like feasible. Um, there are a lot of states that like you might not think much is going on, but you never know. There's something nifty in every state for sure.
Yeah. Let's go back to Google so we can look at other things. Though, uh my brain just froze. Happens way too often. Um, yeah. That's the problem with people not in Kansas. There's a lot of problems with Kansas, but not the. Yep. Even Google wants me to keep going with the things to do. Uh,
Oh, you have a zoo? That's cool.
have multiple zoos.
Yeah, I
Well,
live like 20 minutes away from the Cincinnati Zoo. I love zoos.
well, technically, Kansas, the state, only has a few. Most of the stuff that is Kansas attraction is actually in Missouri, near the Kansas City, Missouri border.
That's funny.
Yeah. So most of the stuff when you think of Kansas, it's actually Missouri. Like the Kansas City Chiefs are actually a Missouri team.
Nah.
Yep. They are
Oh,
Kansas
okay.
City, Missouri Chiefs.
Interesting.
Yeah, they are not the Kansas Chiefs. Oh yeah, there's Kemper. Kemper's actually a good place to go in Kansas. Uh, well, not just the art museum. Here, we'll open the Travel KS thing. Let's go to events because it'll probably talk about that. Holy cow! There's a dinosaur expedition.
Nice. The Cincinnati Museum Center had a thing like that one time.
May 7th
It
in
was really cool.
Wichita. That's another thing you don't think about when you think about Kansas. It takes a long time to get to these places. Like Wichita here is about 4 hours, 5 hours away from Kansas City. And then Topeka is about 3 hours away from Kansas City.
Oh, it's so spread out.
So yeah. Another thing is that Kansas is not exactly flat until you pass a certain point. So it's very hilly in eastern Kansas, but once you get to like a little bit past midway through Kansas, it is flat.
Okay, okay.
And a heck of a lot of our cities are named after Native American tribes and people.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Like
I
Wichita,
bet.
Paola, Towanda, even Topeka is, I believe, a tribe. Yeah, what are some places to visit? I am betting my voice sounds weird today.
Fine to me.
Okay. It feels like I'm
Yeah.
talking weird.
Nah, don't worry about it.
Okay. So we've talked about Ohio, Arkansas, and Kansas. These are places that
Yeah.
probably a lot of people don't think about going to. Maybe Ohio a little more than Arkansas and Kansas, but I mean, uh, Kansas once tried to start a Wizard of Oz themed amusement park,
Ooh.
but the funding kept falling through and then getting permits and stuff.
It always boils down to funding and permits.
Yeah.
It's like 90% of the battle. Um, where I'm to return your question to you, where do you want to go?
Um, within the United States, I'd like to visit the Grand Canyon.
Oh, I've been there. It is as mind-blowing as they say.
Grand Canyon National Park.
We didn't go like down into it or anything, but we did um go to a point where we could just look over it and just in awe and wonder.
Yeah, that's probably what I would end up doing too. Just, okay,
Yeah.
that's really far down. I am not
Mm.
walking that far.
Well, you you hear legends of like the the donkeys that cart people down, they don't like being against the wall because they're like it's too like clustered for them. They're too
Right.
claustrophobic for that. So they will walk the edge of the pathway going down. They will. And you just kind of have to put your trust in them because they know what they're doing, but damn, I heard it's scary.
Ooh, there we go. That's a place to see. The Horseshoe Bend.
Hmm,
Come on, load, load. There we go.
that's cool.
That is pretty.
Yeah, so there's a horseshoe falls and a horseshoe bend. Got it.
And there's only two pictures.
Oh, geez. What? Okay.
Okay.
Freshly made natural like
Yeah.
uh sites. Uh, but I've been to Horseshoe Falls. That was pretty cool. AKA Niagara Falls for those of you who are confused. But
Helpful.
were you confused?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay, it's okay. We don't judge.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here's,
yep, there's the donkeys.
yeah, they don't. An advertisement. Woohoo! No, I don't want to look at. Ah, I'm stuck on the advertisement.
Oh no. Oh, that's the worst.
Uh, what's another place I'd like to see in the United States? Hmm. I've gone to San Francisco, and it was a very pretty city. I probably wouldn't go there now, mostly because they have a dedicated department of human feces.
Um, well, that sounds horrific. Like,
Yeah, that's how
who
bad.
needs that?
That's how bad their
Sewage
homeless.
system.
No, homeless population has gotten
Oh, oh, oh no.
because they don't actually do anything to help their homeless. Well, and the fact that they have policies that promote that kind of attract people to come to it because they can get free things and stuff like that. The homeless
Uh,
population has skyrocketed, so they're they actually had to make
oh,
a department for people to go out and clean human waste off of the sidewalks and streets.
but wait. They're not doing anything to like help the homeless, but they're doing lots of things to make it like more comfortable to be homeless. Is that what I'm?
Uh, it's not exactly making it more comfortable to be homeless. There's more welfare programs. So, and they also have or had a policy where you could uh, basically get free drug paraphernalia without a problem.
Oh,
And
the
once,
clean needles and
yeah, the
stuff.
clean needles and stuff, and apparently that just skyrocketed their homeless population because they would just go get clean needles and then they'd walk like a block away and then shoot up and they'd be passed out on the ground.
Mm. Oh, that's really sad. I mean, it, it sounds like their heart is in the right place,
Yeah,
because they're gonna shoot up anyway. So
right.
maybe
I mean,
keep them alive.
I would still recommend going to see like the Golden Gate Bridge and all that. I
That's
mean,
obviously the first thing I think of when I think of San Francisco. I've never been there, but that does look pretty fabulous.
yeah.
No pun intended.
I mean, there are a lot of cool stuff and a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of cool things in San Francisco that is worth checking out. You just have to make sure you don't go to certain areas of the city where it's gotten bad.
Oh, every city is like that. I've been to Chicago a couple times where you have to be really, really fucking careful, uh, depending on where you are and like what time it is.
Right.
But other than that, Chicago was a really cool experience too.
I mean, when I
There are
visited,
quite a few homeless there. I wouldn't compare it to San Francisco, but
right.
quite a few homeless there. But that was many years ago, so I don't know.
That was good. Uh, when I was there, one of the biggest recommendations that I got before going there was while you're walking around the streets, try to keep your eye to either looking towards the sidewalk or the buildings next to you. Don't look towards any other things, because if you make eye contact with some of the homeless people, they will immediately rush up to you and start begging for money, and they will get pushy, and some of them can get violent.
That's so
So
sad.
that's also why if you're walking in San Francisco, if you look down at the when you're at a stoplight, if you're looking down at the cement, you'll actually see they engraved the street names into the sidewalk.
Oh, whoa, really?
Yeah, they do have the street names engraved in the sidewalk. I don't know if that's the, legit reason for it, but
Oh,
I'm betting that was
but
one of the
still,
considerations. And this was
wow.
back in like 2008, so long
Oh, that was
so
a
that was
long
quite
time
some
ago.
time ago. Ah, so yeah, let's get back to England because you wanted to go
Oh,
to
sure.
England.
I do. Uh,
Obviously,
th-
like you said, there's people you want to see, but are there any places you'd
yes.
like to go? I mean, like
Well,
Stonehenge?
the town of Portsmouth was like right near where my friends are living. They're not gonna live there anymore by the time I get there. Those the only but Portsmouth has a lot of history. It has an aquarium. It has some really cool things. There's a castle on the shore. Uh, uh, so it has a lot of cool things to check out.
Ooh, they have a museum of the Royal Navy.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
That would
I've been
definitely
to
be.
London before, and we did all the like major sightseeing. We saw Big Ben, and we rode the Eye, and we watched the changing of the guard, and we did all the like typical touristy stuff. Just like
Which
when I travel with family who like have they make the itinerary. You're
right.
kind of at their mercy. Um, but when I travel by myself, I want to be a lot more like lax and maybe hit some pubs, like some authentic pubs
Yeah,
and
do some actual, just ingratiate yourself into what it's like to be there versus
right,
we're here, we got to rush to see everything. Let's go see this, let's go see that. And then you burn
right,
out, and by the
exactly.
time you're coming home, you're like, I can't believe I did that. I didn't actually see anything.
I didn't I barely remember anything.
Though,
uh,
I have to say, it's not Big Ben unless you actually saw the bell, because the bell is named Big Ben. The tower itself is the
oh,
Elizabeth Tower, I believe.
interesting. I did not know that. I I can't remember if we saw the bell. That was a long time ago. It was a really long time ago. But the eye, excuse me. Oh my gosh, the eye. Uh, Supposedly from the top of the eye, you can see like every border of London,
Right.
which is really cool.
I mean, let's see, where is it? Yeah, there we go. The London Eye.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That thing
That thing is cool.
is very cool.
I would definitely want to go to the UK. I think that would be fun.
I'm fully prepared to be getting made fun of for being a big fat dumb American quite a bit, but that's okay. I'll just make fun of them for their shit food and crooked teeth, and we'll be even.
Exactly. Oh,
I don't know
that's
why I'm bracing myself for animosity, but here we go. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. There's so many friendly people there that I've met from here, so.
yeah. This is definitely a place I'd like to see. Is the Giant's Causeway.
Those look so cool. In fact, they remind me of parts of that Arc map Valguero that you played. It's you played with us on it for a little bit, me and Beth.
Yep.
Uh, but those like shelved, I don't know how to describe those awesome pillars, but the tiered pillars, I guess you could say. Yeah, those look really cool.
Yeah, they're actually honeycombed and everything.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
There's a huge story about them too. I just don't remember what the story is, and that's in Ireland and stuff. So,
Oh, okay. We do have a very close friend in Scotland. I would love, love, love to go to Scotland or Ireland, either one.
oh yeah, I mean, just look at all this. That would be so cool to just see in person.
Yeah,
Which that's another thing. When you're a kid, you do not have the appreciation for actually seeing stuff when you're on vacation.
right.
I mean, there's like 10% of kids that are actually like, "Ooh, I really want to see this," and actually get excited about seeing things, and then
Right.
then it's like, "Okay, we've seen it. I'm done. Let's go." Oh, yeah. I was a pain in the butt when I was younger.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a kid thing. If it's not interactive, it gets really boring really quick. So you kind of gotta prepare for that as the adult planning these trips.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you have things that the kids are actually interested in and will excite
Right.
them to actually go to.
Right.
Let's see. Oh, I would actually like to go to Norway.
Oh yeah. We have a friend there too.
Yes, but there's also just look at all these places. I mean, look at the scenery there.
Those are cool.
But there is a city somewhere that I saw on a YouTube video that I would hilariously like to go, where it is basically pitch black for most of the year. So I'd like to go there right before New Year's, and you'll never know what time it is unless you look at a watch.
Well, isn't that just Alaska?
Well, that is Alaska too, but I think it would be fun to, go to a place where it's completely different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And not
It
to
would be
mention,
so fascinating.
visiting our shared friend that's actually lives there would be cool.
Yeah. Sissy.
Oslo has its own, a Viking ship museum.
Ooh. You gotta look into Viking stuff when you go to Norway. No choice.
Yeah, I was learning Norwegian for a little while there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Uh, so I can speak a little Norwegian. I probably should start learning it again. Oh, see if I've forgotten everything that I did learn. But of course, I was using Duolingo to try and figure it out. So who knows how well that works?
Right.
Um, I'd like to go to Japan as well.
I I was gonna bring that up at some point.
Norway, Japan. No, I
Norway
don't
dot
want.
Japan.
I don't want to travel from Norway to Japan. I just there it went again. There we go.
There you go.
See, that is
I
a sight I
mean,
would love to see. But you'd have to go during cherry blossom season. Because that's
that
the
would
only
be
time
very
you're going to get
cool.
those pretty pink flowers and everything.
That is stunning, but even more so, more fascinating to me anyway, is the culture. Like, it's like you hear so many different things, and we buy a lot of things that come out of Japan, a lot of games and stuff like that, and they have a lifestyle that is so fascinating. And an imagination that is so fascinating. I just cannot wait to go there and like see those authentic buildings. Oh my gosh. you see those in video games and movies and stuff like that all the time, but like I can just picture my mind being blown by those
Oh yeah,
really cool buildings and oh, those archways in the water and stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh, I'd love to go to a Japanese beach. Mm. Do you know if they're nudists? Like in general, like how like Europe has that like, stereotype, the nudist beach stereotype. Do you know if
I, well, they do have the
I'm just
bathhouses, so there's at least
oh,
that.
that's true. But I honestly would be curious to do that too, and I doubt they'd judge me if I wore a swimming suit. And I
Um,
wouldn't judge others if they were naked, but
it
like
would actually
I would want
depend
to
on the
try
bathhouse you
one.
go to. Some of
Oh,
them,
okay.
some of the this is something I somewhat know. Some of the bathhouses will allow you to go in with a bathing suit or some sort of dress, or just wear a towel. But
Yeah.
for the most part, you do have to be naked when you're in the actual bath area.
Fair
And
enough. Fair enough.
I do know that when you're in the actual bath part, you have to make sure that no towel actually touches the water. It is considered a sign of disrespect because it's like
Mm.
putting something dirty into the water
Right, right.
because you wash yourself before you get into the bath.
That was what I was gonna ask because like I know a lot of like pools here like started asking people to rinse off before they get in the pool. And if a towel is enough to make to be disrespectful to a bathhouse, then like it's like, wait a minute, aren't our bodies pretty dirty? So do you have to like take a full-blown like soapy shower first, or do you
Yeah,
just do a rinse like
well,
you do at pools?
no, you actually do take a shower.
Oh, okay, okay.
There we go. Bathhouse etiquette. There you go. You wash yourself thoroughly in the shower before you go
Okay.
into the bathhouse. Um,
Tie up your hair, that makes sense.
yeah, they're
Tattoos are
actually
prohibited?
yeah, a lot of hot springs, especially hot springs, they prohibit tattoos. There are some yeah, like it says, some public bathhouses are starting to go more relaxed on the tattoo.
I only have two, okay, and one of them is just birds, and the other is like a shitty little flower thing, okay, like on my ankle. They're not big, they're tasteful. Like, don't don't deny me a bathhouse experience for these tattoos. They're cute, I promise.
Part of the reason why they have a stigma against tattoos is because that used to be how people knew that they used to be in prison or something like that.
Mm.
And then the
You don't.
mafia always had it,
Ah, okay.
so that's why
It's
they're
funny how a
anti-tattoo.
lot of like things stemmed from like prison habits, like the low wearing pants low and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of things that like got popularity out of prison.
Right. Which I never
Uh,
liked the whole, have your pants hanging below your butt cheeks
I'm
while you're
not a
trying to
fan
walk down the
either.
street. Oh,
I'm not gonna judge anyone. Like I said, I'm the last person to judge. I do things people think are weird, I'm sure.
yeah.
But like that is a huge turn off to me. Like it's just it's silly. It's silly.
Yeah, and like I said, they're starting to slowly relax the stigma against tattoos. But like as long as you don't have like a full sleeve or something like that, I think you'd be
Oh God,
okay.
no.
Uh
Okay.
your best bet is to make sure that you have someone you can talk to that knows whether or not the places are against any form of
Right.
tattoo. So, um, there are probably more places we'd like to see, but we'll leave it here on Japan because we're kind of running out of time.
Okay.
Because yeah,
Japan's a good note to end on.
yeah,
It's so fascinating. Oh, and look at those baboons or whatever they're called.
yeah. I'm afraid
I
of
bet they
those
have a lot of
things.
monkeys in general are kind of scary because when they snap, they snap.
Oh
But
yeah,
like they're cool. I wouldn't mind meeting one. But yeah, this was a good note to end
Yep.
on. I'd love to go to Japan. That's probably the furthest, other than Australia, it's probably the furthest I want to go.
Yeah.
I do
Yep.
kind of want to go to Australia, but
Yeah. It's like either way, we're sitting for 13, 14 hours in a plane, so.
right, right.
All right. But I want to thank everyone for watching or listening, whichever you may be doing, because, well, I probably still haven't set up the whole thing about, listening it on a podcast form in Spotify or any of that yet. So thank you for whatever you're doing. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow, or any of those things that it says. Do you have anything you'd like to end us off on?
Yeah, we all have such drastically different like travel experiences, and I want to know your stories down below. Like, leave a comment. Where have you been? Even if it's just 10 minutes away from your house, where have you been? What did you experience? I mean, we can count visiting a friend's house as traveling if you had a good time and, set time aside to have a good time.
Yep.
So, so tell us your stories down below, and thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.